Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Talk Wrestling here on the No DQ YouTube channel as well as NoDQ.com. Got more questions from the people, so let's just get right down to it. First one comes from Alistair Kiefer, or I don't know if it's Keffer or Kiefer. I'm guessing Keffer because there's two F's and one E on each end, so I'm guessing Keffer. Maybe it's Kiefer, I don't know. Alistair, I know what if questions aren't your thing, but what if Hogan never jumped ship at WCW? Would the NWO ever came? Would the Monday Night Wars even happen? No and no. Yes, the NWO happened because the Outsiders came, but you have to remember something. Without Hogan joining WCW back in 1994, there is no war to start against the WWF. Because Hogan was the big name that drew in the other big names, the Roddy Pipers, the Randy Savages, the Hacksaw Jim Duggins, all those guys that get Hall and Nash later. All those guys that came over from the WWF came because Hogan was there and Hogan had made WCW a more viable brand, I guess is the best word I'm looking for. And without the name Hulk Hogan added to the WCW brand, there is no war to fight because there is no competition in WCW's eyes because they didn't have the star power. With Hogan jumping ship and then Savage and Piper and guys like that later, there's a war to fight because they can take on the WWF head on and go against them Monday nights. And back in '95 when they started Nitro, yes, they had Hogan and Savage and Sting and Flair, but it wasn't until Hall and Nash jumped ship that really was the catalyst for the war really turning the tide in favor of WCW. You gotta remember, the last week the WWF won the Monday Night Ratings War for 84 weeks was the week that Kevin Nash debuted on Nitro. From that point going forward until April 13th, 98, almost 2 complete years later, the WCW franchise, Nitro, won the ratings war each and every single Monday night. Without question. So, without Hogan being there in the first place, there is no war. So, no. There would have been the Monday Night Wars, there would have been NWO, had it not been for Hogan jumping ship in the first place. Stephen Joseph Lilai Jr. Now, keep in mind, this is as of this taping that I'm reading this question, alright? Since Bray Wyatt doesn't have anything to do, what if Finn Balor were to debut to have a feud with him? I don't see a point to that necessarily. Why would Finn Balor debut in WWE on the main roster just to feud with Bray Wyatt? Granted, Bray Wyatt's a named talent right now. He's one of the hottest commodities in WWE right now, despite having lost a bunch of matches. But, what other than the demon connection with Finn Balor's gimmick that he wears when he has a big match on NXT TakeOver shows, what is the connection between the demon Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, the character? I don't see where that would make much sense. And as far as in-ring work, Bray Wyatt's okay. Finn Balor's great, but with Bray Wyatt just being okay in the ring, I don't see where it would really be a good matchup unless they were expecting Balor to carry Bray through a technical standout, which again, that's a lot to ask a rookie in WWE. Nate Menard. What can Adam Rose do to resurrect his career at this point? Well, I liked Adam Rose back when he was Leo Kruger. I liked Adam Rose when he was teaming with Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero in NXT and in Florida. And there was hope then. With the way the character has devolved now into this Adam Rose person, and now his seeming only TV time is to be making out with Rosa Mendez and get caught by Kane. At least that's what I've observed. He gets an occasional match on SmackDown, an occasional match on Raw. He's on NXT every so often, having a match there. So, I don't know. I would love to see Adam Rose do something. I'd love to see Adam Rose come in and, denounce the whole Rosebud lifestyle and make people remember who Leo Kruger was, and maybe have Leo Kruger be the new character and have him do things NXT. Now WWE wise, and I don't think that character will work in WWE, but NXT he could do great things if he were to go back and say, you know what, this isn't working, and let's try this. I think there might be a slim chance. Miguel Meza, will Samoa Joe ever make an impact in WWE? Absolutely. Joe is the biggest signing WWE has done in a very, very, very long time. It's tantamount to getting Ronda Rousey to come and show up at WrestleMania. It's that big a deal at WWE to have Samoa Joe on board, even in NXT. If you look ahead of the tapings the next few weeks, he's got matches with, you know, some of the named talents in NXT. He's got a match with Owens coming up, I believe. You know, for the championship. I don't know if it ends in a draw. I know he does win the title. I remember that much. But, you know, Samoa Joe is a big name talent. He has been from the minute he stepped foot in a Ring of Honor ring and was signed with them and won their championship and held it for almost 2 years. You know, Samoa Joe is a marquee player. He's an impact player, like you said in your question. He's an impact player. Yes, he will make a huge difference in WWE, especially in NXT, working with guys like Zayn and Owens and Balor and Tommy when he's better, and all these guys that have worked with him in the past that will do great things on the WWE NXT level with him. Now they're all in the same umbrella. All right, this is from Hamp Kano. He's asking all of us here at No DQ, but I'll go ahead and take the question. How about the time each of you knew WCW was going to die, or maybe the time you knew WWE would win the war? Well, for me, they are one and the same, and I'll tell you why. Because I held on to this when it happened. I held on to the belief that it was going to turn the tide, but deep down in my little ginger's lack of soul, I knew it was the end. And that was the night of the finger poke of doom. And I know it's cliche to point fingers at that incident, but it's the ever-loving truth. From the minute they went back to the beginning and reunited the NWO under the same umbrella and the same group, one big group again, and didn't know what to do with it from the get, other than have Hogan be the figurehead, as always, and spray painting the belt again, and doing all these things again and again and again, that was the beginning of the end. They hadn't won a battle and then the ratings since October of '98, the night after Halloween Havoc, when they showed the entire Page Goldberg match for free. But that last effort to win the war by putting Nash and Hogan and their shenanigans against Foley and The Rock, there was going to be no way they were going to win the war from there. And they were doomed to fail. As far as when I thought they were actually going to die, I'll even go you one better. When I knew for sure that they were going to die, when Bischoff made the bid to buy them out again with Fusionet. Because I knew it wouldn't work. I knew there was something going to happen, something was going to collapse underneath them, and it was going to be the end. And I was right. And I hate that I was right, because I miss WCW to this day. I miss WCW so much, but it was doomed to fail. Let's see. Last question is from Noah Donish, our old buddy here on the No DQ channel, and at the Scoop, of course. What did the inside of Joni Lauer's apartment smell like? Joni Lauer's apartment. Well, I think Aaron would know better than I would what Joni Lauer's apartment smelled like, because he sailed over most of it over the couch, as I recall. But Joni's apartment smelled like a lot of alcohol, plenty of drugs, snack food, as I recall. The bedrooms smelled like worse from what was wafting out from the back. Yeah, that's pretty much what I remember. And that, you gotta remember, that was over 10 years ago that I remember this. So it was a rough night, and we all got through it. I feel good that I sent the three of them, Mike and Aaron and Austin, home during the worst of the shenanigans, because I knew that the kids that were there needed to be taken care of, and luckily they were, because they have a great dad in Sean Waltman. And I just remember smelling a lot of very interesting smells coming from all over the house and all over the apartment. A house. It was a house. All right, that's it for Talk Wrestling this week. Thank you so much for watching, as you guys do every week. I greatly appreciate this comeback being successful so far. I'm so glad to be home. I miss this place. I love NoDQ.com. I love working with Aaron. Get the questions into me right now in the comment board. I might get off the comment board, but definitely tweet me, _Jeff Meacham. Instagram me when I put the thread up, _Jeff Meacham. Or even Facebook me at Jeff Meacham. You can find me in any of those three places, okay? We will see you next time on Talk Wrestling.